today's video, we're going to have a look at tactical decision making, focusing on upwind sailing. And to do this, we're going to look at 3 simple golden rules and then go into some detail as to how gain features, shifts and your position may affect your tactics, and compare all of this to your position on the course. But before we get into this, I just want to highlight what we mean by tactics. Tactics refers to the decisions made around the course due to the other boats around us, positioning ourselves to either stay ahead or overtake them, often simplified upwind to decision as to whether we tack or duck, but it's actually a much wider subject than that. To start us off, I have 3 golden rules or ideas that I want to share with you before going into more detail. These tips will help you make more effective tactical decisions moving forward and are what we call non-negotiable, i.e. they can often trump/override other ideas or concepts. The first tip may sound simple, but it's the most beneficial. Keeping your head out of the boat and therefore seeing situations forming means that you have so much more time to make a decision. This drastically improves your decision making process and will stop any crash tacks, slow ducks, or worse still, any penalty turns moving forwards. Next, it's all about clear air. We should aim to never put ourselves in a situation where we have dirty air or a poor lane. If that is the case, then we need to change something, either tack out or change our mode, but make sure we've got a clean lane. Finally, remember the power of a duck. Young sailors often feel that ducking loses ground and therefore is a bad option, but a smooth early duck can actually use you less ground than compared with tacking, let alone if you have a reason to carry on out to that side of the course. Now we have those golden rules in place, there are numerous factors that influence your tactical decisions, even in its simple form as a port starboard, tack or duck situation. Using Mark Russell's 3 circles model, coined Dobson's choice, we're going to categorise these factors into gain features, wind shifts and positioning. I'm going to overlay this model over an upwind leg to help prioritise these influencing factors at different parts of the beat, aiming to give a framework for clear priorities in a tactical situation. There will be a time where 2 or more factors affect a singular tactical decision, but this model allows for that with overlapping sections. The bottom section of the model also allows for whether the strategy of the racecourse is governed by a single gain feature, just shifts, or actually a mixture of both. We're going to add a few ideas onto this framework with examples and explanations. These ideas are a mixture of generic rules of thumb or some of Mark's 7 rules of positionings. The first of these is to take a gain early. When there's an obvious gain feature, early tactical decisions should be based around getting towards it fast. In this example, ducking a transom to get out to the pressure on the right hand side. When wind shifts are the predominant factor affecting the beat, we want to sail the long tack first. Staying or tacking onto the lifted tack early utilises the gain whilst it's there, and therefore should be the priority when meeting other boats. As we move up the course, we need to be more aware of other boats and our position in relation to them, making any losses paper losses and banking any gains. A paper loss is where you tack before a group of boats, not allowing them to cross you, therefore keeping their advantage on you theoretical and not physical. The reverse of this is crossing the fleet when you're in a gain, banking that theoretical advantage into a physical one. As we move up the course, our attention should also turn into getting back to the centre of a narrowing course. When doing this, we want to ensure that we're leading back into the middle, bow forward on the fleet. This gives us more options and less risk in a controlling position. As we get further up the beat, we should now start focusing on positioning, and specifically positioning in relation to the top mark and its ley lines. We want to focus our decisions to keep us off the ley lines and into what's known as the 9th diamond. This allows us to make use of any last minute gains, but also keeps us sailing in clean air far more easily. After working through those examples and looking back at this diagram, hopefully you can see how gain features, wind shifts and positioning may affect your boat-on-boat tactical decisions, and also how they change in priority depending on what type of day it is and the strategical factors influencing the race course, but also they change in priority throughout our progress on that upwind leg. I also want to remind you of the 3 golden rules that must be followed and remembered: keeping your head out of the boat, staying in clear air, and remember the power of a duck compared to attack.